Hello everyone, Rhett here. Recently I did a trip across the Nullarbor and there were sinkholes. I decided to free climb down the sides of the sinkholes and explore some of the caves. It reminded me of some of the outdoor adventure activities I've done in the past. Some of those I only have photos of, the narrative it's still in my head. I decided to take one of those and put the narrative down. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, the first image is an aerial satellite view of the Bondi area. And now you'll see a little magenta dot appear beneath the H of Bondi Beach. That's where I lived at the time. One of my biggest passions while I lived there was freediving. You can see these areas of sky blue, of light blue. And that's just a rough indication of some of the areas where I went freediving. I certainly dove in more areas than that, but they were the most frequented areas. Okay, I've zoomed it in here. Now just at the bottom of that point there, you'll see an orangey little blob. That whole area is called Ben Buckler, that rocky promontory. And that orange little bit is where I did some beginners rock climbing classes. To the north of there, you'll see a place called Meriveri Pass. Just underneath that, you'll see a couple of orange blotches. I did beginners abseiling there. Now you'll see that a lime green line has appeared between the two orange blotches at Meriveri Pass. That was my first flying fox. Just beneath the flying fox, you'll see some light orange. That's an area where I pioneered some bouldering. Bouldering is rock climbing without ropes or a harness, just your chalk bag and some climbing shoes. Generally you'll stay near the ground though. Okay, I've zoomed in on that area. You'll see the orange there. I did beginners abseiling there. You'll see the light orange indicating the area where I pioneered the bouldering. And this time I've designated the flying fox in grey. Now you will see a violet line has appeared going from the top end of the flying fox. That indicates a rock climb I did. That rock climb is the subject of today's video. The sea cliff here is a massively overhanging rock escarpment. It's massive, very impressive. It's about 50 meters high. This violet line gives a rough indication of where I hoped to climb. I knew that the area about 2/3 of the way up was very soft rock and very overhanging. It was going to be very challenging. The quality of the rock in that area was definitely quite poor. The area had actually been used over the years as a dumping ground. To your left, you can see there's actually piles of rubbish. Mostly steel and various things that are kind of rusted, and it actually develops its own aesthetic. I mean, at first sight it's certainly not pretty, but it's kind of worn into the area and developed its own sense of belonging. If you look closely, you can see me there, starting just above the water level. The first climb was a crack climb, and you can probably just see the line of the rope there. This is just after I summited that first section. In this photo you can truly see just how overhanging it is. I invited a friend along and, well, he just wasn't very impressed. He really wasn't very enthusiastic. We are looking almost directly up Meriveri Pass. At the top it's only about a metre wide, but goes down a long way, and people often try and step across, and it's quite dangerous. Some people have actually fallen down and ended up with serious injuries or death. I started up the next section. This section wasn't too bad. I was using natural protection. This is protection that basically you can take back out again, and it leaves no real trace of having been there. So there's camming devices and what we call nuts, little wedges that can fit in, and so if I fall, I will be protected. It looks like there's a reasonable number of features, but I found it tough going. Where my left hand is in that picture was full of sand. At this point I needed to have a rest. After a few more attempts, I decided to come down for a little while to get a proper rest. During that process of digging sand out of cracks, some of the sand had ended up in my friend's eyes. We were also getting a bit thirsty, so we threw a line down and someone connected up our water bottle and we pulled it up. I guess a picture tells 1,000 words. My friend had gone from not very enthusiastic to very unenthusiastic. It was a shame because it was like fighting a war with one arm tied behind your back. I really needed him to help out in our assault on this rock face. I went back up and had quite a few more goes, but I just wasn't going to push through. I still had some more in me, so I made a few more attempts. My friend point blank refused to have a go. I decided that was it for me on this section, and then I had the challenge of getting the equipment back out. I basically had to down climb, take equipment out, and well, that was challenging too. I couldn't just leave it like that, so I went to the top and abseiling down to the end of the overhang. The last section was quite enjoyable. At the time we made this attempt, I was quite confident that no one had attempted this before, and I wouldn't be surprised if no one has attempted it since. If you want to make sure you catch the next video, you're welcome to subscribe. Otherwise, whenever I catch you next time, I'll catch you next time. Hope you enjoyed it. See you later. Goodbye.